Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're back online. For those with us on Twitter, we like that you have continued to be with us, and we hope that you're enjoying the discussion. The discussion we are having today is about the comfort zone and it being the #1 hindrance to growth. We want you to share with us via the Twitter Spaces and online. What does that mean for you? How have you been in the comfort zone? Do you even know that you are in the comfort zone? How do you get out of it? How has it hindered your growth? And we've been having Kevin Wanyama here as our guest at the FAT Talks organized by Smart24 and Fidelis Leadership Institute. And he's been telling us about his journey, him being an entrepreneur, him being an innovator. He has left the corporate world to pursue his passion of public speaking. And he has a company that is doing that, which is Zenith Orators. So once again, as your host, Kambaho Brian, and I am an associate partner with Arcadia Advocates. So back to you, Kevin.
Yes.
Earlier we spoke about what the comfort zone looks like, and you narrated to us how it is easy to want to keep the money coming in, but you're not exactly pursuing what you love. And you gave us a story of a gentleman that loved a particular girl, but when he was given a task, he couldn't get out of his comfort zone to achieve it. And then we've been trying to discuss what the comfort zone looks like for many people. And I want us to return now more into the corporate world, because the listeners that we're having and the people that are watching us online are in that kind of space. And they are more growth driven. They want to know that, okay, before I even understand that I am in the comfort zone, I am pursuing growth. So what does growth look like in the Ugandan context? For the employer, for the employee, for the corporate world, for the entrepreneur world, for the innovator, or for those that are looking for employment. How would you describe what growth looks like?
Yes. Mostly growth is based, of course, on parameters that are set by the individual. We all know, like, the 100 meters race has a finish line. And if you have been running 100 meters and you have been losing, you know that, okay, last time I lost, but I ran 14 seconds. So that becomes your new kind of mark to beat. You're like, okay, I have to run 13 seconds now. So by consistently having a benchmark that you are running against, you achieve growth. So firstly, why people, I think, struggle with growth is because they don't have any established benchmarks for the start. Like someone wants to, for example, lose weight and perhaps grow their confidence and most likely also grow their areas of their life, but they don't have a parameter they're basing against. If you are 80 kgs, then your parameter should be that I want to be 75. And then from there, you can grow consistently. Another challenge is people want to have exponential growth in a short time. You're 80 kgs, but you want to be 50. So you go to the gym for 3 months, and then when you don't clock 50, you're going to become frustrated and you're going to abandon the whole thing. So there's also that level of you must have manageable steps while you're pursuing growth. Say I'm 80, but I'm going to start with 75. So when you hit 75, you're going to have that dopamine rush. You're going to be like, whoa, I've achieved my goal of 75. So you're going to get more motivation to move slowly and steadily to hit the 50. But if you want 50 as the first goal, after 3 months, you're still at 88, you're going to abandon the whole thing because there's no excitement. If I'm to just share a short anecdote at how growth could be pursued in a progressive manner.
Yes.
I will tell you a short story about the Chinese bamboo. Now, those of us who have not heard about the Chinese bamboo is a very interesting kind of bamboo in China. And it's very frustrating to grow because when you put the seed of the Chinese bamboo into the ground, you don't see any movement in the ground. You don't see any shoot coming up from the ground for 5 years. For 5 years, you have to water and nurture the seed in the ground. For 5 years, without seeing any progress at all. You won't see any ground movement. You won't see any shoot coming up from the ground for 5 years. And then guess what happens in the 5th year? On the 5th year, it shoots up to 12 feet tall in just 2 weeks. Someone might ask, has the Chinese bamboo grown to 12 feet in 2 weeks' time? or in 5 years and 2 weeks? Which answer is correct?
5 years and 2 weeks.
5 years and 2 weeks. And yet for 5 years, you didn't see anything happening. But now the enemy to our era now is most of us are not willing to have the 5 years under the ground and just let it be.
I know that we've actually been described as the microwave generation.
Yes.
We want it quick. We want quick results. We want chap 1 week.
Want something we can post on Instagram.
Year. We want to be the CEO in 1 year, and yet it requires time. It requires the 5 years for you to actually begin to see tangible growth.
That's correct.
That's a bit of encouraging, especially because, I mean, it's been said that if businesses make it to their 50th birthday, then they have succeeded, or they are a bit stable, and many do not make it to their first, to their second, let alone their fifth. And fifth could be growth. And from the biblical context, and I know that we're also trying to be faithful here, I know that Jesus was buried, literally, for 3 days, and he rose again.
Yes.
And for the believers out there, sometimes it takes a little bit of faith to believe that you will rise, that the opportunity will come again. So speaking about growth, I know I interrupted your story, and you are driving at a particular point with the bamboo shoot.
The Chinese bamboo, yes.
Yes, the Chinese bamboo. How do you then connect that to the growth and the comfort zone?
Yes, so how that connects to growth is that oftentimes growth, and the best way to have growth is if it is silent. Because there is that, I don't know, I'm not superstitious, but often a time when you let out something before it matures, it actually does not come to fruition. So if you are trying to cut weight, don't go first day in the gym and you're posting a selfie. And interestingly, most of the people I see who do that,
yes,
when you check on them after 3 weeks, they've abandoned.
There are no more selfies.
There are no more selfies. They've abandoned the entire gym. So basically what they're just living for is that high of posting a selfie and getting likes. So have your growth done in silence, because success speaks for itself. You see, success just does not hide. Zuckerberg, I don't think he posts on Twitter every day, but regardless whether he posts or not, his success, and even if he posts a question mark, we shall like and retweet a question mark, because success speaks for itself. But what hinders growth, I think, is people not willing to be patient with that phase where they're supposed to be investing time and resources with an ideology at the head of time. So, what is growth? Firstly, have a goal in mind. That goal, if I'm to use the analogy of the Chinese bamboo, is you want to have a Chinese bamboo which you can use later for construction or something of the sort. Have that clear, definite goal. Second most important step is, what does it need for me to achieve that goal of growth that I'm trying to do? So write down what you need to do to achieve that goal. Have clear steps and clear guidelines. Now what you're going to do is you're going to get step number 1 of the goal and put it very far hidden away. I don't know where else, maybe in your wardrobe or under your bed, because that's not important now. And then you're going to look at these steps you've written down. Now you're going to get obsessed with these steps, because without these steps the goal is not important. The challenge is when you keep looking at the goal, you're going to get distracted from the steps. That's where the problem comes. Step number 1, I must wake up at 5. Now you're going to do that every day. When I wake up at 5, I'm going to jog in the neighborhood. Now don't look at the goal of 60 kilograms. Now that's now hidden very far down.
Yes.
Shelf. You're not looking at that. You're looking at, I'm going to be running before going to work every morning. Now that's the action point you're going to be focusing on every day. After doing that, I'm going to do some push-ups. I'm going to get back, shower, and then put on my clothes and jump onto the next commuter taxi or get into my car. Now I'm going to be doing this every day. And periodically, I'll maybe check on the weighing scale, how far have I gone. But that's not important. What's important is this, because unless you build these habits that are going to direct into you reaching your goal, you'll never actually achieve the goal. I'm using the issue of weight, but this applies to every other parameter of your life. Let it be career, let it be anything else. Just have these clearly written down action points. And then when you pursue relentlessly, obsessively these action points, the goal will just manifest itself into existence naturally. Before you even realize it, it will just come by itself. And I think that's the challenge that most of us really face, that we put so much effort on the goal and get frustrated when we don't get the goal, and then we forget that we must actually focus on the action points, because without those action points, the goal won't come into existence.
Wow.
Yes.
Very, very well stated. For you to be able to actually quantify growth, write down, have a goal, first of all, write down the steps and guidelines to get to that goal, and then have bits of consistency to achieve that particular goal. And it's important that Kevin here reminded us of the bamboo shoot, because you need to bury it. So if it's a goal, you know it's at the back of your mind, so bury it at the back of your mind. But do not forget that for it to grow, you need to feed it, you need to water it, you need to keep serving it. Then one day it will shoot. You know, it is actually said that if you are trying to plant even a bean seed, which is something that grows the fastest, if you're checking on it every other day and removing the dirt from underground to see, has it grown, has it begun to sprout, has it begun to shoot out of the soil, it will actually never grow. Yeah. But you bury it underneath the soil, you cover it, you do what you have to do daily, which is supply it with water, supply it with whatever nutrients you have to add with the mulching and all, and then you know that it's only a matter of time that it's going to grow.
To shoot up. Yes, thank you for that.
That also got me thinking about the employers, because sometimes the employers, and I know many that are watching and are listening to us online, may be in the capacity as an employer, and the employers actually take a leap of faith with the employees. It's year one, it's week one, it's month one, and the employee is not producing the results that they were originally hired for. But the employer believes, because they saw something profound in this particular employee, that they are going to come out. And in their second year, in their third year, they begin to bear so much fruit that was not as visible and as tangible in their first year. So as an encouragement to any employers out there, is that yes, please remain patient and consistent in watering these young people that are growing. It is uncomfortable, because we're also talking about the comfort zone. It's uncomfortable to pay people that may not necessarily be producing results, but eventually it bears fruit because you're doing it with a particular goal in mind. So Kevin.
Yes, Brian.
How then does one avoid the comfort zone? Because it's a hindrance to this growth. As soon as you discover that you're being comfortable, what should you do?
Wow. Yes, what should I do? What should you do when you realize you're being comfortable? Now, often a time, what causes people to get comfortable in the first place is, besides having unclear goals and an unclear purpose in life, it's also lacking a level of accountability to yourself, and also, if you are fortunate to have someone you trust, an accountability partner. Because ideally, when companies set targets, I like how companies run, companies that have good corporate governance structures, because there's no company that sets targets at the first beginning of the year and does not have an end of year meeting where they now just check how far have we come. Some companies are fortunate to have quarterly progress meetings and review meetings, just to see, okay, we set this target for this quarter, how far have we come? We set target for this biannual segment of the year, how far have we come? Most companies that are well structured have this. But we human beings, who are the most important company in the universe, because it would not exist without us, we don't have those kind of accountability areas in our lives, where you set a goal and then you come and check how far have I come. So I would recommend that you get an accountability partner, because that person will help you to not only leave the comfort zone, but stay out of the comfort zone. For example, if you have this partner, you've told that, yes, I'm working on my side hustle. I want to make sure that I can have it registered by URSB and have a TIN number and also have a bank account. And most importantly, have products. That person should be able to come and consistently check on you and remind you, hey, Sarah, you said by now you should be having a bank account. Where is the bank account? You see? So now that's going to force you to leave the comfort zone, because you're going to be like, oh, man, you know, I had put that thing on the side. I mean, blankets and wine came. I spent the money on blankets and wine. But anyway, thanks for reminding me. I'm going to work on it first thing on Monday. So that's going to force you to leave the comfort zone. Some people are fortunate to be stoic. Tony Otoa, I think, is one of those people who believes in stoicism, whereby they can naturally, by themselves, have that sense of self-direction to constantly punch themselves on the head and say, no, Kevin, you said you're going to do those 5 push-ups today morning. Why haven't you done them? But most of us are not fortunate to be like those people.
Yes.
Most of us are not. That's why having an accountability partner, someone, an external party who cares and is concerned about your growth, coming in and consistently nudging you and telling you, you said you would do this, why haven't you done it? That will help you to leave the comfort zone.
Yes. And speaking of nudging you and reminding, I'm also reminded that I beg your pardon. I'm also reminded that you had 2 questions to tell us, 3 actually, as is the culture here. So for those that are listening in, we want to hear from you. Tell us 1 truth and 2 lies, and then the audience will guess which one is the truth and which one is the lie. Okay,
so I have to just mix them up, and
yes,
then they choose. Okay, so I'm going to start now. First one, I am married to a beautiful, wonderful, and amazing wife. Second, me and Brian here went to the same school and we were in the same class. The third is, in my younger time, I went to the seminary and I was trying to be a priest to come and bless you, give you blessings now, for example, in this session. Those are my 3 statements. I don't know who, you can now guess which of them.
So the first is that?
First is that I'm married to a beautiful, amazing, and wonderful wife. Second, me and Brian here went to the same school and we were in the same class. The third is I went to the seminary to pursue priesthood when I was in my secondary. Yes.
Well, there you've had it, the 3 questions or the 3 statements. Which one is the truth? Which one is the lie? So do please comment on the Twitter spaces and in the Twitter chat room, but also those that are watching us online. Please do share what you think as the truth and which one is the lie. And we shall confirm later which one is which at the end of the show. So once again, those that are with us, please, I hope you are taking notes, because there is a lot to take home here. Are you being comfortable? Are you in the comfort zone? How are you getting out of it? But more importantly, how are you pursuing growth? Because there will be so much to frustrate you and keep you comfortable, and yet you need a little resistance to actually achieve greater heights. So Kevin, we were still talking about how to navigate and get out of this comfort zone. And I know that we are coming towards the end of the program. So let's break it down, package it nicely, and send whoever is listening and whoever is watching us off with a target, a goal, and a commitment to get out of that comfort zone.
Yes, I would want to obviously live by leaving you with a dose of knowledge, which of course you'd have to self-seek. We're talking about leaving the comfort zone. There's a book called The 5-Second Rule. The 5-Second Rule. I think someone who is pursuing the ideology or the concept of leaving a comfort zone, that book would go a long way to ensure that they can help them jump onto that track. It's called The 5-Second Rule. The writer, I forget, but if you look it up, you'll be able to understand what the book is about. But in principle, what it says is that whenever you feel you're getting comfortable, especially in the area of procrastination. You only have to count from 5 to 1. And by the time you reach 1, you just push yourself out of that comfortable area that you're in and you pursue what you set out to do. Count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go for whatever you're doing or you planned out to do. If you're in a networking event and there's that CEO of a 5-star bank here in Uganda and you want to talk to them but you're uncomfortable, you think they won't give you time, you think, oh, who am I, how about if they don't talk to me? You start counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you march towards that CEO, introduce yourself and speak to them and introduce yourself and say, I like your work and like what you do. So that's just an example of how the 5-second rule works, and please look for that book and use it. And then to close with a quote that you've already had before by Hillel the Elder, it says, if not us, who? And if not now, when? Let that be your moving mantra for the rest of the week and the weeks ahead. Close the year with a bang. Close the year with motivation. Close the year out of your comfort zone. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And I know earlier you spoke about accountability, and I dare say that there is actually no growth whatsoever without accountability. So if you are not being accountable to anyone or to someone, even to a system, a simple system as the weekly reports, the monthly reports, the quarterly, biannual, annual reports, or a review of the end of the year. Tomorrow is December, today is the last day of November, and we're saying, thus far we've come. How has the year been? Who have you accounted to? Have you been comfortable? So, as you start to plan for next year, and I have a friend who actually always reminds me that the year ends in November, and to this friend of mine, their last day of the year is today, 30th November, and they use December as the eve of the new year to start saying, okay, the whole of November I am planning for the new year. I am already in the new year. I'm already thinking about the new year, such that as soon as it hits 1st January, they are already running.
They set off running, yes.
They set off running. Because what happens to the bulk of the population is that on 1st January, it is still a holiday. They're still in holiday mode. They're still back in the village. They're just coming back. They get back, and the first week is very dull, very mundane, very dragging. The second week, before they know it, it is 90 days of January, and they are barely done anything. So February begins to kick in, and that's when they're just getting onto their feet. So they actually begin to be active in March, but they have lost 2 months.
They've lost over 2 months, yes.
So this is one of the ways to get you out of the comfort zone and say, let me start to plan for next year. This year is gone. Did I hit my target? Did I achieve what I set out to achieve? If I did not, how do I achieve it in the coming year? I now have an opportunity to act. And earlier, I have a friend who has this up in their office. The word ACT, A-C-T. Action changes things. So as you said, the 5-second rule, you want to do something, count to 5. Count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and do
action.
it.
Yes.
Take action, because action actually changes.
Oh, I like that.
So
at least I'm going to take that home tonight.
Indeed.
Action changes things.
Action changes things.
Wow.
So if you have, you want to get out of that comfort zone, you have this idea that has been tickling you for the whole year, for the whole last 3 years, act on it. Start by writing it down, as we spoke earlier. Set out to achieve particular timelines, then just start to do it. Small steps, but they'll bear a lot of fruit. So, from our audience, I don't know what the poll looks like. We had questions, and Kevin here told us 3 statements. 1, that he is married to a very beautiful wife.
Yes.
I don't know why I would object to that. 2 is that he's been my classmate all through law school. 3 is that he actually was in the seminary in his
trying to be a priest.
Trying to be a priest.
Yes.
So which one
Change
is the
lives.
truth?
Spiritual.
Which one is the lie? I don't know how our poll is looking like, but I know some people voted. Some might have gotten it true, some might have failed it. So Kevin, tell us, which one is true?
Okay. I'm married to a beautiful wife.
Well, for the fact, for starters, I think you look like you've been in the seminary. Is what I would think.
Why would you think that?
Because the seminarians love to plan. They are particular on how they set out to do certain things, and the way you told us, have a goal, write down your steps, and be consistent.
Wow.
Those are virtues of a seminarian.
Of a priest.
But I could be wrong.
No, you're right. Actually,
I could be
I
wrong.
didn't know it's that obvious.
Oh.
Yeah. I left priesthood to pursuing a priest to marry, but I'm not married, so I don't know what's happening. I might have to go back. And then
Yes.
So I went to the seminary. That's the correct one. So that means me being in your class is not correct.
Yes, I'm a lawyer. You are a quantity surveyor.
I'm a quantity surveyor. So yes,
so it's
that's not correct. And then the other one is not correct. I'm not married yet. The cameras here look okay, but they're not female, so I don't think I can't take any of them home.
No.
But that's okay. Yeah. So those are the answers.
Thank you. So if you guessed it right, a huge pat on your back. Once again, we are Fidelis Leadership Institute. The FAT Talks, they happen every Thursday. And today we hope that you've been blessed. You've enjoyed the session on the comfort zone and how to get out of it. The comfort zone is the #1 hindrance to growth. Next week, we'll be talking about self-worth, owning your time, owning your value. And we have Caroline Egesa, who will be taking us through that session. So next week, Thursday, 7th December, please do tune in live on Smart 24, live on the X Spaces with Fidelis leaders. Keep here from Kevin and myself. Merry Christmas. Please, December is here, and tomorrow is actually 1st December, which is AIDS Day. So please do look out, because that has also been rampant in Uganda, and we're doing our best to curb the growth of AIDS. As a final announcement, there'll be a graduation happening tomorrow for the FAT Fellowship that will be graduating 2nd December, and there's a cohort that will also be starting in February. So if you would like to sign up to be part of the Fidelis Leadership Institute FAT Fellowship, please do sign up as soon as possible. We love you, and goodbye. Merry Christmas.